Hey, my name is Chris Anderson from the EEWeb Tech Lab. Today we're going to use IBM's Watson IoT platform and a couple of Raspberry Pis to control a dinosaur. The Watson IoT platform gives developers access to a wide range of tools and capabilities, including getting your devices quickly connected to the cloud, intelligent analytics, enterprise-grade security, and device management. Today we're going to use the Watson IoT platform with Node-RED and our Pis to send the sensor data back to Watson IoT, process it, and then trigger our dinosaur when certain criteria are met. Now for this project we have our two Raspberry Pis and this dinosaur, and if you need help getting your Raspberry Pis connected to the Watson IoT platform, you'll want to visit the link below. So on this page you'll find a lot of resources, some videos, some articles, some papers. This first video, kind of walks you through the process of setting up your Raspberry Pi and getting it connected to the Watson IoT platform. And then you come down here and there are a number of recipes which are essentially step-by-step instructions of how to do certain projects. And so there's a lot of detail there to work through any little problems you have. But for this project then we have this Raspberry Pi 3 which has a sense hat on it. And the sense hat provides motion data, environmental data, and also provides a compass, which is what we'll be using to control the dinosaur. So if we look at the Node-RED flow for that, you can see that we have the sense hat is really easy in Node-RED. You get this block that's called sense hat, and it pulls all the data in and sends it out, and it sends it out really quick. So we have this second block that limits that message flow to 4 per second. From there it comes into this function node, and so Node-RED has all of these really easy to use kind of built-in functions. But if you need to do something more interesting or a little more complicated, you just put in a function node, and that gives you access to JavaScript. And so you can write any functions you need to. And in this case, what we're doing is going in and pulling out the compass data, essentially. There's some other things that happen here, but the important part is we're pulling out the compass data, and then we send that off to the Watson IoT platform. Setup is easy. You come in here, you put in your organization, your device type, your device ID, and your authorization token. And we'll go through the authorization tokens later. And so this is now sending the compass data off to the Watson IoT platform. The Watson IoT platform is going to process that, and then it's going to send a command back to this device, which in this case just looks to see if it's being told to turn the LED red or green. And so we strip that data out, we send that back to a sense hat input block, and it's going to turn the LEDs red or green. So the second part of the flow is once we have the data and we send it off to the Watson IoT platform, we actually need to process it and do something with it. And so that also is done in Node-RED in this case. And so we have our access set up using an API token. Again, very easy to set this type of stuff up. In this case, we're filtering to only messages sent from a certain device ID, which is the device ID associated with this Raspberry Pi. We get that data in, we do some processing in another function node, and then we send it back to each of the Raspberry Pis. Now, if you wanted to make it a little bit more dynamic, you can come in here and each of these messages has a message ID, or a device ID, a device type, and additional information. And so what you can do is you can override any of those values. And so we could do this with one Watson IoT output node, but in this case we kind of have them hard-coded to do each device separately. And so this top one is going to send the information back to this Raspberry Pi 3, which is going to control the dinosaur. And the bottom one, in this case, is sending a command back to this Raspberry Pi 3 to turn the LEDs to either green or red. And that will indicate whether we have motion or no motion on the dinosaur. And so for this Raspberry Pi 3, all it really does is takes that message from Watson IoT. It's either looking for a 0 or a 1, so it strips that off and it sends that off to a GPIO on the Raspberry Pi 3, in this case it's pin 40. And if that's high, it'll make the dinosaur move. If it's low, it'll stop it. So, if we demonstrate this, now one of the really great things about the Watson IoT platform is that doing all this was very simple. I didn't have to go and set up all the cloud infrastructure. I didn't have to worry about setting up security because the Watson IoT platform takes care of all of that. So you can come in here. This is the Watson IoT platform dashboard. If I need to generate a new API key, I can come in here and do that very simply. If I need to revoke that API key for any reason, I just get rid of it. If I come over here, I can see all the devices that I have connected. And so this is going to be my Compass board. And you can see all the data is coming in. It's very easy to see kind of the status of where my devices are. And this doesn't even touch on some of the device management and the other features that are available through the Watson IoT platform. While we've used the Watson IoT platform to control a toy today, specifically making the dinosaur dance, the same principles apply to devices of all types. Whether you're making robots on a manufacturing line move, industrial process controllers respond, or door locks open, Watson IoT can help to bring cognitive computing to your factory, advanced analytics to the home, or make operations more efficient. Watson IoT gives you the tools to make data more meaningful and devices more impactful. Being able to capture and utilize data from devices anywhere, on-site or remotely, gives you the ability to understand and act on critical data both in real time and over an extended period of time. For more information, go to ibm.com/IoT.